So let's take a quick look at the syllabus. I won't go over all of the things at the beginning. If you have any questions or have any particular issues that you need to discuss with me about accessibility, etc., please just send me an email and we can go over those. So let's just look at the session outlines. So the first session, you'll see that I've changed some of the readings, etc., so that it better fits in with the outline, which is what you'll be using moving forward. It's just easier to go through the syllabus this time. So we're going to be discussing some of the basics of budgeting, and you'll see that the readings are from a book that I found very helpful, but I didn't think that we were going to use all of the book, and it can be kind of pricey, plus it had a CD with some budget software that I don't think is particularly helpful, so I didn't want you to have to spend all the money on that. So some of the pages from the preview copy that I got, I'm actually using, and so those will be uploaded. You'll notice that on the assignments part, it has a due date for each one of those assignments. There are actually kind of two main assignment types. So the first one are the one-pagers and descriptions, etc., that you'll put together and you'll upload on the side where it says assignments, and those will go directly into the grade book so that I can keep track of all of those and you'll be able to monitor your grade, etc. But the one thing that's the most important for you to make sure that you protect, and that's the Excel workbook that is your master repository for all of the assignments. So the way that I've laid that out is the very first worksheet in that workbook is the agency budget. So that is going to be populated by all of the sheets that you're going to develop behind it, the worksheets, that would have specific programs like mental health or case management, etc. So we're going to learn how to actually build those individual program budgets with personnel and fringe and indirect, any cost sharing, etc. And then as you develop those, it will feed that information into the larger agency or that first worksheet in that workbook. So it's going to be very important that not necessarily that you know formulas in Excel, but that you're able to maneuver your way around Excel and certainly protect that sheet so that as you upload it each time with the new additions to it, it's current and it's something that I'm going to be able to review. So that's pretty much it. This is a one-credit course, and sometimes I get a little crazy, and people say that I have way too many assignments. So I want to make sure that I don't do that again for this course. So in the first session, we're going to just be talking about understanding those basics, and once you read and do the one-page description and kind of look over that template, you will have finished the first session. The second session is when you're actually going to upload that first Excel worksheet. It's going to include all of the program budget areas that you've identified from your organization that you think that they're going to actually need to have for their organization, or one that you make up. And so once you do that, then you'll have the shell for your main assignments. Looking at session 3 and 4, once again, we're going to be talking about each one of the programs, what some of the costs are in those programs, and so you'll actually be putting in all of the various categories that are necessary, and you'll see in the template that most of those are already put in, so there'll be a description of those in these videos that I do each week. Now, some of you may have a question about that. You can certainly work ahead as fast as I have the videos up and turn those assignments in as quickly as you want to work through some of these issues. People who have worked with budgets before, have worked in public health or worked for the government or a foundation, will have less trouble probably maneuvering that, although all of you, I'm sure, will be able to maneuver all of this information just fine. So don't be afraid to work ahead. I will ask, though, that if you have lots of questions about things that are coming in the future, that you be patient, because I'm going to be working with students as we go through, and I do want you to complete it at your own speed. But I also want to be aware of the time of the people who are actually just learning it in each week. So I'll try to balance that and make sure that we get through that. The next 4 sessions are all about the major components of the operating budget. So we are going to be looking at overhead. We are going to be looking at how do you figure out what the salaries are for individuals in your field. What is the best way to allocate those costs, especially administrative costs across all of those budgets? Again, all of that coming in that main Excel spreadsheet, and so I think it's going to be very It's going to be very informative to you, and then you'll be able to keep that. And anytime you're asked to develop program or agency budgets, you'll definitely understand each one of those different aspects and have your own work to look at that. We will cover other things like capital budgeting when you're buying equipment, etc. That's such a small part of what nonprofits and others do that I won't be speaking about that too long. Once we get into the last 5 sessions, that's when we're actually going to be looking at some of the issues of presenting a budget, discussing the budget, justifying the budget, especially because that has to be done in narrative form. And so those narratives that you send in will actually be Word documents and are worth, each one of those written pages are worth 10%, and the overall Excel spreadsheet that you turn in at the final is worth 30% of your grade. So then the last two topic areas, you will actually be putting together like this, a presentation by video of your budget, and it's very simple on most computers. If you don't have that technology, I can certainly help you with that. But it's just going to be a 5-minute presentation of your budget by video to give you an opportunity to actually work with that medium and to upload that and be proficient in that as well. And that's half of the final, and then the rest of the final is turning in that Excel spreadsheet with all of the final changes so that I can see that everything balances and that you have understood what skills and knowledge this course was developed and intended for you to master. So I hope you enjoy the course. We will hopefully have everything back up as soon as this video is back up. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me at blainep@gwu.edu, or you can call me at 202-994-2441. So I hope you enjoy.